Monahans Sandhills State Park. Hi, this is Jim from RV4x40.com.
And I'm Chris.
Welcome to the channel today. We're glad you could join us. We're actually on spring break, and before we get into it, since this is kind of the middle of the COVID-19 crisis, we are camping, but we are still doing our social distancing and everything else you should do, hand washing, and all of those things continue on. We have a good supply of food so far, although we will need to restock at some point, like everyone else will. But we already had this trip planned for spring break, and it's one of the occasions we get to go camping with our daughter, son-in-law, and their family, and we were looking forward to that. So we are here and just being a little bit extra careful today.
Yeah, typically when we go camping, we mostly are just with our families. So there isn't a lot of interaction with other families that are here typically, and right now there aren't all that many, maybe another 10 or so families here and there, but we're just with ourselves and enjoying each other.
Yeah, one of the surprising things, well, maybe not too surprising, but one of the things we noted was the campground is really sold out, and yet there are still a lot of empty spaces here. So my guess is people that had reservations for this particular week decided it was not worth it to venture out, and they stayed home, and that certainly is their prerogative, and we understand that. But we're not camped next to anyone, and we're just interacting with our own family, and that's something we would normally do anyway, so it's not a particular surprise. I guess Chris and I are both in the elderly age group, as they put it in the warnings and so forth. So we're taking some extra precautions, but nothing that's so unusual. We can still go about and enjoy our lives and interact to the extent we can. And we're taking care of things. We're taking care of being cautious and not going to restaurants, not going to big gatherings, and all the things you're supposed to be doing. But back onto the Sandhills. This is near the Midland, Odessa area. Actually, Monahans is the closest smaller town, and it is a state park, so it's open. Has I think 40-some thousand acres here. They are sand hills. If you're familiar with white sands, it's somewhat similar to that in a lot of respects, except instead of gypsum, this is true silicate sand. So it's an interesting place to go sled riding down some of these hills. There's been some rain, so it isn't quite as dry as it might be other times of the year. That slows the sleds down, but the kids have still had a good time going up and down the hills. And I've got some drone video to show of the park and of the kids sled riding.
I think you'll enjoy seeing the area and knowing what it's like over here. Right,
so it's not a close place for a lot of people perhaps, but if you're in the along the I-20 corridor through Texas. It's literally a mile off of I-20, so it's easy to get to, and it's a nice campground. There are some 50 amp hookups and some pull-throughs, and a lot of smaller back ends and some 30 amp stuff as well. So if you're into camping and like state parks, it's a relatively inexpensive way to see the countryside. Not sliding very well. Thanks for joining us today. We hope this has been useful for you and given you some information about another terrific Texas state park you can go and visit. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, we would appreciate it if you would do that. Click on the subscribe button down below and then the bell icon to be notified when we post a new video, hopefully every week. In the meantime, we hope to see you as we travel the highways and byways of America.